Namaste, good morning, and welcome to the third episode of Pursuit of Excellence. As you already know, this show aims to put the spotlight on some amazing people and their Indian brand stories in South Africa. And in line with that, we have another inspirational leader with us here today. We have with us here today Mr. Jitin Bhatia, President of CII, India Business Forum, SA. He is also the director on the board of Action Group, a private equity investment group, and its companies here in South Africa. And then, what I personally find the most exciting, Mr. Bhatia is the founder of Indian social media startup called Explurger. Just giving such an intro of Mr. Bhatia, which focuses only on his work achievements, doesn't do him justice though. Mr. Bhatia is also actively involved in social and spiritual activities as the president of Sant Nirankari Mission, South Africa. I urge you to stay tuned as we question him today and find out more about him and his work across diverse domains. I promise you, it's going to be exciting, yes, but one of a kind more. So, welcome, Mr. Bhatia. How are you doing today?
Very well. Thank you, Sally. How are you?
I'm good as well. Thank you. I'm so excited to have you here. You are in my domain, which is travel and social media. I'm so excited. So, should we start?
Absolutely.
All right. So, Mr. Bhatia, you have been in SA for several years now, right? How long have you been here, and what has been your experience of South Africa so far?
See, it has been a wonderful experience. It's been 11 years, and I think the most amazing part of South Africa has been its people, full of humility, humbleness, full of compassion, and I think this has been the most interesting part. But for last 11 years, initially I was going up and down. I used to be 3 weeks back in India, 3 weeks here. It is only from last 3 years now I have moved my family here. So it is altogether a different experience now, but very interesting one. Yes, indeed, it has been an enjoyable journey so far.
Wow, sir, 8 years of going up and down. Wow. So, the next one is a universal question asked to just about anyone who has come down to live in SA, either temporarily or permanently. Almost everyone who comes here has some expectations, or call them preconceived notions if you must, of what they can expect here. What were your expectations of SA before you came here, and how do you now find SA to be in relation to them?
I remember around 11 years back, I think it was 2009, we were looking at starting a thermal power project back in India under Action Group umbrella. And that time we were looking for coal linkages. So that's the time when we explored some opportunities in Australia, Indonesia. And then someone came to us and said, have you looked at South Africa? So I ended up booking my first ticket for South Africa for my first ever visit was in Feb 2009. My expectation over that on during that time was, it's Africa and what's going to happen. I remember calling one person, a friend of mine who used to work in Deloitte long time back here in South Africa. So calling him and saying, do I need some other arrangement? He said, what do you mean? I said, some security or something. And, my expectation, I would say I had very little knowledge. So, about the whole continent, I thought maybe, I would land and I would pass through some bushes and, and probably look for my hotel somewhere. And, but when I landed here, it was eye-opening for me. What I saw was the first world country infrastructure in a developing nation. For me, it was like a developed infrastructure altogether. I mean, it was like coming into any European or America for that matter. And when I started meeting people and when I looked at the opportunities all around, for me, it was like South Africa is the gateway to the whole continent. And altogether, things changed from there on. That's the time when we decided this is the place where we have to be here and make investments here. This is the place to do business. And this is a wonderful place. So, and we have never looked back since then.
That's amazing. If I were a South African, I would do this. uh, you've been living here with your family, as you said before. Does your family love it here? And as someone who has come down with family, how easy did you find SA in terms of ease of settling in?
I think, see, as we all say, South Africa is a rainbow nation. So you have people from all kind of races, cultures. It's amalgamation of all different cultures together. I think most interestingly, it is a good place for your children to grow because they get exposure to so many cultures at one place. So my children are loving it, and the kind of exposure they are having it, they may not be able to get that exposure probably there. Now, with different languages, people speaking around them, with coming from different backgrounds, they're having a wonderful time. I think for my children, it was not a issue at all. They could settle in easily because children make friends quickly. For my wife, probably for 6 8 months, it was a bit of challenge because she didn't have her friends here. But now, as it's been 3 years now, my wife and children are here, so my wife is also thoroughly enjoying because we have a good network of Indian expatriates here and a lot of local people we have made friends with, and we have employees, their families. So we all live as one family. I mean, there's no issue at all. I think you get I think the weather is excellent here. That's the perfect infrastructure is nice beaches, nice places to go around, nice education system, nice banking system. I think the only thing which we are a little concerned while living here is just a bit of crime. So that's the only thing which we are always a little concerned. Otherwise, I would say 100 out of 100 on all other aspects. If we could probably a little bit improve the crime situation here, I think there's no better place in South Africa in the whole world. I would say that with full conviction.
I totally second that, and I'm sure Piyush agrees. So the last question was fairly on a personal and familial front. What about work? How do you find South Africa to be as a business destination? What kind of opportunities do you see here for someone who wants to bring his business or his business investment even to South Africa?
I think there are immense opportunities. So as I told you initially, I came here looking for coal mines for one of our thermal project where we wanted to invest into. And when we came here, we saw it as coal mining is a self-sustainable business, and not only coal mining. Now we have gone into many other sectors. So if I talk about the Action Group of companies where I sit on the board as director, the Action Group has invested a lot into a couple of mining projects here. So we have invested into a company called Insa Coal Holding, where we own 50% stake, which has coal mines. We have also invested into a company called Incubex, which is a running wollastonite mine and a running silica mine. So that's another investment. Now even Action Group is looking at investing into healthcare sector also here. And we have explored many other opportunities, but yes, because I am on the board of India Business Forum, so that gives me an exposure. And I could see there are opportunities in almost all the sectors. Like in the last episode, you interviewed Mr. Gupta, Rajesh Gupta from Mahindra. So automobile again is a very booming sector here, and then pharmaceutical is doing very good, and manufacturing sector. So there are n number of sectors where there are a lot of Indian companies operating here and successfully doing businesses.
So you already brought up Action Group and you've already answered my next question, which was supposed to be, can you tell us a bit more about Action Group and its investments in South Africa? But is there something else you wanted to add then?
So Action Group is a very diversified group back in India. Action is famous in India initially for its shoe business. 40 years back, it started with shoe business. So it's the largest shoe manufacturer back in India. Then it owns the biggest electronic company called Microtech Inverters. So that's another brand which is owned by Action Group. And then it has a company called Action Tessa, which is the largest particle board and chipboard manufacturing company in the country in India. Action also has investments into hospitals. It has a specialized cancer hospital, multi-specialty hospitals across different cities, and into real estate in a big way. So I think Action Group in 2008, 2009 was looking at investing into other sectors, mining and thermal power project. That's when I got in touch with Action Group and brought Action Group over here. So since then we have been investing here into mining, healthcare, and different types of mining minerals, and been looking at constantly at other investment opportunities also here. So yeah, that's Action Group here.
OMG, Action Group is like everywhere. I think the only thing you didn't mention is salt. All right. And the future plans? What are the future plans for Action Group in South Africa? Where do you see the company moving? And can you tell us some more things without divulging any trade secrets?
No, I think we're quite open with our strategy, and people know. So we have made investment into mining, which is a long-term investment. So some of our mines, it is still going to take some time. So there's one mine which is operational now, where we are actually getting the coal out. And we have tied up with a local producer over also there, mining company. And there are three more mining rights where we have now waiting for final rights to come. One mine we just got 2 weeks back, a mining right. And so these projects have got long life of mine. So, these projects are going to run for 15 to 20 years. So that means we are here for long. And then apart from this, as I mentioned, that we are looking at healthcare sector. So apparently, in fact, I should also tell you, I sit also on the board of a company called Medi Valley, which is funded by Niti Aayog. It's an incubation center back in India in Andhra Pradesh, Visakhapatnam. So, as part of the board as honorary director, we come across a lot of inventions in healthcare technology and healthcare side on diagnostic side. So we are trying to bring some of those technologies here in South Africa, in the other African countries also. So that's another sector which we are very closely looking at and exploring. So that's about it. Growing, business in mining and looking at health sector currently. This is what Action Group is currently doing.
Super. So is it something like a venture capital investment that you make in these beautiful inventions and ideas that come across?
So Action Group would invest, but would also be part of the management. So it won't be just private equity. Would eventually, in fact, it would mean generally a private equity would make an investment and rely on the founder. But whereas Action Group would get involved into the running of the company also. So we would make those kind of investment as part of Action Group. But yes, at my personal level, I've been more in the past being involved as an angel investor, making investment in technology startups also in the past. So that is more from the personal side I've been doing.
Thank you for clarifying that. Now let's move up to your startup called Explurger. Ooh, I'm so excited. I could give an elaborate introduction of this fab #vocal for local India app, which is Explurger, but we'd rather hear it from you. So what is Explurger and where did you get the idea to get this show on the road?
So it is very interesting. In 2017, just to take you when you asked me how did it started, how did the idea came. So 2017, I remember I came back to India from one of my South African trip, and it was in the morning. I think my accountant there told me, sir, it was your 62nd trip to South Africa over a period of 8 years. Because I used to do 3 weeks here, 3 weeks there, continuously for 8 years, 9 years. I did that. And, and that made me thinking that morning. I said, every time I'm abroad, whether in South Africa or any other country, or for that matter, from Delhi to Mumbai, if I travel to another city, every time when I go out, I share so much information on social media network. And yet, there's not even single social media network which can tell me how many countries I've visited, how many cities I've visited, and how many times I've visited a city. They can't tell, my friends can't see, and neither I can't find out anywhere. I think that was the Eureka movement for me. That gave me a seed of thinking, why can't we have a social media network where we just share a picture and a video and it has artificial intelligence in the background, and then it automatically creates our travel log. It calculates the miles I've traveled, the continent, countries, cities I've been to, and how many times I've been to these cities. I think that was the time, and it took me like 6 months from June 2017 till December. So for 6 months, I sat and did everything on paper, designed all the algorithms, how it should be done, what it could be done. And my wish was, it needs to be made in India, so I need to have a team in India. Because if you see all these big social media networks, a lot of their senior management team guys are from India, but they are not Indian apps. They're foreign apps, and every people from India all across, millions, hundreds of millions of people are using these networks. So I said, why can't we have a social media network which could be made in India and can be used by the world? So I think, and that's where the idea came in. I had a small team of 3 people, which has now grown to a team of 8 people. We have 3 people in South Africa. We have a team of 5 people back in India. And last year on 15th August, we launched this app called Explurger. So the name Explurger came from the word, from the line urge to explore. That's how we named it, urge to explore. So we came with the name Exploger. So it's a social media app which has this travel log feature, which, and it's like any other social media network. You can share pictures, you can share videos, you can explore into new places. What it does is it calculates your travel log, and what important it has is another feature what we have introduced for the very first time in the world is gamification. So if you are socially active, so if you're getting more followers, if you're getting more likes and kudos on your post, if you're getting more views on your post, your level of exposure also keeps on going up from cobalt to silver to gold to spectra. And going forward, what we are busy integrating is, users would start getting rewards and benefits also based on their level. So it would be the first time a social media network where you get rewarded for being socially active. So like on Vitality, on Discovery, like you make your loyalty bonus points and you get rewards. Similar would be the case, you would get rewards and benefits for being socially active. And it has many other features like creating your bucket list, getting reminders if you're close to your bucket list place, sharing your future travel plans, many other exciting features. And we are still improvising the product. And we have currently users from 40 plus countries. Over a span of 7 months, we have users now who have joined us from 40 plus countries.
Absolutely incredible. You are quite the Archimedes for travelers like us. You have no idea what you've done, seriously. So, next question. Most made in India social media apps have the bane of becoming followers rather than trailblazers, especially in terms of UI. Be it Coup or Elements or several others, their features and UI are almost a mimicry of their more popular world counterparts. Did you consciously make Explorer different? Because I can see right from the login screen right till the end to end, it's totally different. Not just in terms of UI, but also in terms of features and the different things that users can do, such as build up travel logs that you just mentioned.
I think one thing what I realized from the very beginning was you just can't sell your product at a global level just by saying that it is made in India. Yes, indeed, in India, people would have affection and people would come to your app, you are made in India. But I wanted to, from very day one, I had this vision of making a global app. People from all walks of countries, all places could join it. For this, you have to offer something unique. So we tried creating our own style. So instead of likes, you can give kudos, and instead of giving one kudo, you can give up to three kudos. So instead of saying likes and dislike, if really like a product, you give one kudo, and if you really like the product, the picture or the video, you can give up to three kudos. So and then bucket list. Never somebody had thought of a feature like bucket list. So a lot of time it happened. You see somebody sipping a cup of coffee from a nice coffee shop and sharing a picture or a video from a nice place or nice resort or something, and you decide next time you are in that city, you would certainly go there. But by the time in few months or few years when you go there, you either forget about it or you can't find that place in the wall because that post has gone so deep into the wall. So what we have done is we have added a feature now called bucket list. With just a single tab, you can add that place into your bucket list. So next time, even after 2 years, if you are in that area, it will remind you to go there. So, we tried doing things a little differently and but make it more interesting, like the concept of gamification, levels, earning counts, getting rewards. All these are the things which is going to make, I'm sure. So we're getting good feedback, but we are also getting a lot of suggestions which we are basically inculcating, integrating into the app. So every month you see a new version of Explorer. And I think going forward in next, I think 10 to 11 months, we really want to see ourselves with a global presence of Explorer, having multiple locations operating in strength at different places.
Wow. I'm so off Facebook. You just wait. How do you see Explorer growing? What are your plans for it in terms of growth and reach? You already mentioned you wanted to go global. And especially in terms of marketing and visibility, how are you going to make it reach a global audience?
Okay, so we are currently busy raising money also for our social media app. So we are in the process. So we have got some commitments. There's some global players looking at co-investing into our product. So there is certainly some traction into our product, which would help us grow and market our product. But I think what we intend to do is with our gamification and rewards and benefit feature, we want to create an organic growth. So this would give, a motivation. A concept of gamification is basically is there to give motivation to the user to share more with the world and to create more posts, to spread it to the and to invite more people. I think so. My focus is currently rather, getting that organic growth into the app, which eventually will give us an edge over other apps. So I think our target in next 3 to 4 years is to become one of the top, 6 or top 7 social media apps at a global level. That's our target for next 4 years.
You've got me completely sold on your idea. I'm going to do some organic marketing for your app on my own.
Thank
So,
you.
moving on to your CII profile. Looking at your CII India Business Forum profile of president now, can you tell us a bit more about the role of CII and how it helps other Indian businesses here? I request you to shed some light on how CII helps in increasing bilateral trade between India and South Africa.
So CII, as we know, is the biggest chamber out of India, Confederation of Indian Industries. So there are many hundreds and thousands of members in there, and they have also some offices outside India. And CII is partner with the India Business Forum. So wherever Indian companies have major presence in outside India, CII then has an arm which is called generally India Business Forum outside India. So we call it CII India Business Forum. Even though CII India Business Forum has its own constitution, it has its own body, it has its own elected body, but it works along with CII. So CII handles currently are the secretariat part. Coming on to India Business Forum, CII India Business Forum, it's basically an association of all the Indian companies operating here in South Africa. So all mid to large size corporates based here, investing here, it's all part of CII India Business Forum as members. Together, currently, our companies operating here are employing 25,000 South Africans on direct payroll. So these are direct jobs. So when I talk about indirect jobs, it goes into hundreds and thousands of people. So the direct jobs is 25,000, and it is growing at a rapid pace, obviously pace, but due to COVID this year, we have seen not that much growth, but yes, and the investment currently stands at $6 to $7 billion. And I think there's another $2.5 to $3 billion worth of investment which has been committed, which is in the process. So, and we have companies from all kind of sectors, pharma, whether it is Cipla, whether it is Sun Pharma, whether it is Hetero Drugs, whether it is in other sectors. We have the Mahindra, whether we have Tata's, whether we have Mahindra Tata in automobile industry, in mining we have Jindal, our action group, where I'm also part on the board, and JSW and a couple of other players. So, so you name any sector, you would get players here. So, yeah.
Apologies for that interruption. I did put it on silent, but apparently it was on vibrate. So I quickly just went and put that off. Moving on to a different aspect of your life now. We can see that you have a loaded professional profile with multiple roles in multiple organizations. How do you manage to juggle them all, and so successfully, if I may add? Are these superhuman management skills a byproduct of your spiritual side, or attributed in any way to the spiritual work that you do for Sant Nirankari Mission? I apologize if the pronunciation was off.
I know you're spot on. Well, Sant Nirankari Mission is a spiritual organization, and I'm so blessed to be part of it, to be accepted, to be part of it. And I think spirituality is very, very important for anyone to grow, because whatever knowledge which we gain from the world, and whatever wealth which we gain is for us as a physical being, but for us being a spiritual being, there's also something needs to be gained. There's a food for the soul also. Just like we have food for the body, we need food for the soul, and that's come from the spiritual connecting with the one. So Nirankari Mission, first of all, is not a religious movement or a sect. It is an organization. It is an organization where people from all different races, all different colors, all different religion, faiths are all welcome to join. And we believe in one God, and of course, God is one. And we believe in, serving the fellow human being, because what we believe is, as part of the spiritual mission, is that if, the only way to love God is to love His children. So that's the only way. So, you love the fellow beings, and that's the best way to show your love to the God. And yes, indeed. So the San Nirankari mission, the spiritual connection has really helped me, because, it is the spiritual connection which makes you realize that you are not the doer. There's somebody else. There's God, the supreme being. So instead of confidence, what you gain is the Godfidence. And once you have the Godfidence, the confidence on God, a lot of your worries goes away. Because if I think I am the doer, a lot of time, because you get success, a lot of time you face failure also. If you are the doer, then you get sometimes out of board when you are successful, and when you fail, then you can really go into depression. But if you know you are not the doer, somebody else is doing, you somehow get the faith and that feeling of surrender and acceptance that whatever is happening for the good. Probably this has happened, it was not the right time, something better would happen. And you have something to hold on to. So I think the spiritual connection has really helped me. And I really believe whatever is happening with the will of the God, and is happening for good.
That's amazing. I'm adding that word to my dictionary, Godfidence. It's amazing. It is rare to find someone of your stature who is so openly and unabashedly spiritual and holding on to it so strong. It is evident that you derive a lot of your mental strength from it. On that note, I must ask, do you have any advice for young professionals and budding entrepreneurs in this area of life?
Yeah, I think perseverance, persistence, and working hard is very important. But at the same time, be loyal to yourself, be loyal to your clients, be loyal to your investors, be loyal to anyone around you. I think loyalty and being truthful to people around you is very, very important. Shortcuts, sometimes people look for shortcut, but shortcuts cannot take you too far. Run and walk along with people. As people say, if you want to run fast, walk, run alone. But if you want to run far, then run along with other people. So same thing, take people along with you, take your employees along with you. And don't hesitate to share your knowledge with other people, discuss your ideas, be open minded to discuss with other people. Listen to what other people are saying, take suggestions. And I think humility should always be there. You should, no matter whatever success you get, so one should not lose humility, being humble, being helpful to other people. So, because, no matter how big you grow, you would also need some help at every step, I would say. And so if you want to, you would get help only if you are giving help. So, as you say, help people if you want to be helped, and forgive if you want to be forgiven, love and if you want to be loved. So those kind of principles. So yeah, I think with a positive mindset, and believing in yourself, believing in your idea, and with full honesty and commitment, you can achieve anything in the world.
There were so many nuggets of information, useful information, that we should actually make a quote, a graphic out of it, that answer. Post COVID, and indeed as a 21st century problem, we see a lot of professionals struggling to cope with the pressures of work. Burnout statistics worldwide are through the roof these days. What is the one piece of health and wellness advice that you'd give to anyone struggling like this today?
I think looking after your body is equally important as like looking after your business. And and I have learned the hard way. I've actually had some issues with my back, with my sciatic pain, with my slip disc, and this and that. Generally when I was traveling, I used to do 3 weeks back in India, 3 weeks here, and traveling in between also to different places, different countries, different cities. And after a while, the age runs very fast, the time runs very fast, and very soon you realize you don't have that kind of energy in your body, and you start giving up. And then you realize, before it gets too late, I think it is important. You can only work hard for longer hours and you for longer years only if your body is fit. And I think it is equally important to give respect to your body, and also have healthy relationship. I mean, work is important, but equally your friends and family is equally important. So balancing that time, especially when you're part of a startup, or especially when you're starting at a young age, we need to prioritize. Creating that balance sometimes becomes difficult. I think one should realize that sooner than later, that give balance between your personal work, personal life, personal interests, what you enjoy doing. You must do that, and be in touch with your friends and spend time with your family.
What is your hobby then? What is it that you enjoy doing?
So,
Sorry, I have to put you in the spot sometimes.
when I'm free, you know, I would like to do a bit of gardening in my house, spend some time with my children, go out somewhere, hang around, or probably do nothing, just sit
Nice.
and enjoy the nature. Yeah, but spend time with my friends, people from the same satsang group which we attend, and listen to their words. People who are always motivating, sit with them, listen to their nice words, divine words, and yeah, that's how you spend. But yeah. I think spending time with family as my children are growing. So one is 16 years and the other one is 7 years now. We've got the elder one becoming now a teenager who's going to be 16 soon. So it's very important to spend time with your children also.
Lovely. Sounds therapeutic. Uh, and for people looking to set up shop in South Africa, right? Before we move on from the business segment, do you have any advice for such expat business owners and entrepreneurs?
Yes, please. When you're coming here, make sure you're coming here and you must accept the local communities. You must be willing to work with local people. South Africa has a bit of background history in terms of wherein, a lot of companies sometimes they come and they ask, they're surprised. Why do we have to give, do take care of the economic empowerment or the black economic empowerment? So, we need to explain them. There's a bit of history, and it is always better. So, even you're a foreign company, work like a local company. That's the only way to succeed. You can't succeed in another country being a foreign company. You have to act locally. You have to think locally. So I mean, even now in our mining company, I would say almost all the staff are the local people here. So, and look for the bright minds to work with, and accept what the local law is, and don't look for shortcuts, and then you can be here for long. So, definitely no looking for shortcuts. Work the hard way and get success, and take people along with you and make them part of your success.
You won't believe we've done 3 interviews so far, and this aspect of think local has been common all throughout. I think that's how great people think, right? Like, that's the key to success. So, now on to some lighter questions. My next question was supposed to be about your leisure time, but you already answered that. So, let me put you on a spot again and ask you your favorite leisure companion instead. Who do you do these activities with?
Yeah, with my wife, of course, and with my son, with my both my sons, my children, my family, friends.
They like gardening?
Uh, my younger one is 6, 7. He sometimes join me, and I'll get tired, but he won't get tired while doing gardening. So he
Nice.
enjoys it.
Nice. I have a 6-year-old too, and she loves gardening as well. That's lovely. So, do you like to travel within South Africa? Is there anything in particular that you absolutely love to do here, and or any particular place that has a piece of your heart?
So long drives, I really enjoy here. Driving from here to Durban was like I used to drive every month, once in a month at least. I did that for many years. I think 4 or 5 years I did that. Even though I used to be here for 3 weeks while coming from India initially, once in those 3 weeks, for at least one night, 2 night, I used to drive down to Durban. At that time, we were looking at some projects there, and also because of our satsang and having some charitable activities, we keep on doing food drives and some other charitable activities like blood donation drives. And for that purpose, I prefer driving down rather than flying. But last 1 year has changed the world actually. Because of COVID, we haven't gone out. But I think it is very therapeutic going anywhere for that matter, driving down to the beach there, or going to Hathipir Sport Dam, taking that cable car, sitting there on the top of the hill there. So there's so many places. I think this place is a paradise. It has got many locations it's one of the best tourist destinations in the world. And I think going forward, this tourism should further increase. I think once this COVID thing goes off, the whole travel thing relaxes, we would find many tourists coming back. People are waiting to come here actually.
Yeah. So you mentioned Heartbeat Spoot. Have you gone hiking in that region before? There are beautiful hiking trails there.
Hiking, I've never done it properly actually. I don't enjoy it. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy it, but I like more driving, going and sitting and relaxing, and hiking. I'm not that hiking kind of person. But my son, my elder one, he wants to go on hiking, so he has asked me many times.
I will send you some photos after this. I will tempt you to go hiking. Heartbeat Spoot is amazing. So one last question about South Africa before I have a surprise for you. What would you rate as your best experience here, and one that will remain with you forever?
I think it's the people. The people are, I've done some business, visits to many countries. I don't want to name the countries, but many Western countries. I think the kind of humility people have got here, you won't find it anywhere. Coming back from India, where people are also very humble, there's a lot of humility there. So, when you come here, you find the same kind of humility, so which is quite good actually. It's the people, and then obviously the weather and the places around, the nature, the beauty all around the country. These are the things which you can't get. And of course, the vegetables and the fruits, what you get here, the quality of those fruits and vegetables is excellent. In fact, there was one family which was going back to India, and yesterday only they came to our place for dinner. They said, we're going to miss these vegetables and salad and these lovely things. The quality of food over here is also very nice.
This is a delightful interview. You're tempting me now. I promised you a surprise after that last question, and here it is. I love to put my guests on a spot, and if you're game, I'd like to ask you one personal question that's been on my mind ever since I came to know that I was taking this interview. Would you please let me ask that one teeny tiny question?
Certainly, please go ahead.
So, are you an explorer? If yes, what is your explorer level? And if I may be brave to ask, what are your explorer miles?
Okay, yeah, of course, I'm on explorer. I'm on Spectra level, by the way, which is the second highest level. So I'm yet not there at Spectra Prime. So I'm at Spectra level. Miles, I think it's around a little more than 100,000 miles I've done. And I think, but this COVID started. So I'm sure once this COVID thing goes off, and I'm going to do much more miles and it would come out. And in fact, apparently, let me tell you, my wife is not too far from me. She's already at gold level, one level behind me, but she's got more followers. I've got 2,500 followers, and my wife has already got 4,500 followers. So she's doing much well than me on Explorer.
Wow, woman power. So that's it from my end. Those were my questions. Piyush, do you have anything?
Thank you, Jitinji, for such lovely answers, and I was so mesmerized, and I was kind of thinking that whether I will be able to get an opportunity, because you are not leaving anything to me, and everything is being answered by you, even if it is not as you have answered voluntarily. So my bit of two questions that one is that about the CII India Business Forum. So how do you, when I was seeing a chapter in Durban, and probably some action in Durban where we can integrate the Indian businesses based out of Durban and KZ, and there are quite a lot of it.
Yeah, so first of all, India Business Forum is an organization, association for the whole country. It is not Joburg based. Yes, obviously the office bearers are based out of Joburg, like I'm being the president. We have General Secretary Nazarana Jasad. We have, Treasurer from Vedanta, CFO Pushpinder Singla. We have some other members also, Mr. Pika. Gaurish, who's part of India Club, is also part of our board. So all these people are based out of Joburg, but companies, we have some members, I think, from Durban also, and also one company from Cape Town. So we welcome them in that way. In fact, we would like you to be our brand ambassador and, go and tell those companies to be part of this. And I think in future, as we have more and more companies from Durban, we could have events there also. But, currently all our events are virtual. So
Yeah.
people from anywhere for that matter can join us. But going forward, we would love to have events there, business events there, wherein the local Indian companies operating out of Durban can also join hands with us.
Right. No, that's a very good thing, because it's a demand of time. And about this Explorer, if you could, how exactly you will monetize this app? What's the plan? Because so far it is free for user, and do you see some advertisements coming in, or probably some indirect selling happening on the app?
We have a very detailed monetization plan. First of all, we don't intend to charge anything from the user. So user must enjoy it. So they don't have to pay anything. I think they are already giving their precious time, which is more than important, which is much more than what they could give. The way we do it is obviously through advertising. As the number of user goes into many millions of users, so we already have monetization plan. We have already started doing tie-ups with ad network companies, and also we would be placing ads. So we have a trending section which works more like TikTok style videos. It's a continuous feed you get in. So we would be placing video ads in between for some brands. So that is already in the process. Apart from ads, and why these ad companies would come to us is because we have 4 or 5 more data points. Unlike other social media network, an advertiser can only choose the gender, the age group, the demographic, and some interest. But here they can go up to in more details, because we are doing artificial algorithms, so they can pinpoint what kind of users they would like to show their ads. So in that way, advertisers has an edge here. And the other monetization way is, the eWads. Very soon we are going to start an concept called eWads, which is Explorer Awards. So apart from just giving kudos to any picture or likes to any picture or a video, one would be able to give a gift in award. It could be called a Pluto Award, it could be a Jupiter Award, it could be a Platinum Award. But these awards you can buy from the Explorer accounts, which you make every day from your being socially active, or you can buy those Explorer accounts from Explorer Store. So it may cost you $1 or $50, and you can give that award, and that award would highlight on the other person's profile in the post. So the other person would also feel good, because now he's not just got tap a button, but somebody has really paid a little amount and shown real appreciation. So that's another way. Then we are busy tying up with a lot of affiliate programs and all. So then the third one is obviously the rewards and benefits. So through rewards and benefits, we intend to monetize it, which would be absolutely free. So suppose if you're at Cobalt level, imagine you're getting 10% discount on Bugs and Bean, but now you post more, you get more followers, and you got more video views, you got good interesting content, and now you've started getting 25% discount on the coffee shop.
Right.
Or you get 20% discount on an airline ticket, or launch access when you are going and traveling through a domestic or an international airline. And that is all happening because you are socially active. And imagine what all these brands, they want their users to be more and more socially active, because as you are socially active, they get more recognition, they get more awareness, people get more awareness of their brand, and they are ready to give those kind of discounts. So on that ground, no one ever has worked on social media, so we're the first company working on it. So when you do something new, obviously it takes a bit of time to convince the market, but we are winning step by step. And hopefully very soon you would start seeing these benefits in a couple of months on your apps also.
Oh, perfect. No, thank you so much for the detailed answer. So there's quite a lot of things which are going in my mind, and you answered all those queries. So thank you so much for your time and gracious answers. It is so nice to see you and talking to you. And whenever you are in Durban next, so please let us meet, and then we can think of and discuss many other things.
Absolutely.
Sir, did you notice that when you were talking about the monetizing, both me and Piyush, our smiles went from here to here to here. We're loving it. Thank you for explaining that. So,
Thank you.
So we'd like to thank you for your time and gracious answers, Mr. Bhatia. We really enjoyed this today. It was such a pleasure to have you with us, and I hope you had an equally good time with us.
Thank you so much. Yes, I did enjoy it. Thank you for having me here and for giving me such a platform, such a prestigious platform. And special thanks to the Consul General of Durban also for giving this opportunity. In fact, he called me last week, and so kind of him of thinking about me and giving this platform to me. Thank you for this honor.
So, with this, we wrap up our third episode of Pursuit of Excellence. Along with our esteemed guests who take their time to chat with us, I'd like to thank the Consul General of India in Durban, Honorable Shri Anish Rajan, who made this series possible. And of course, I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. Thank you and see you again with another new guest very soon.